And, you know, by the way, somebody needs to check Rudy Giuliani wherever he is with a cigar somewhere, because there are tire marks over his back.
Yeah.
I mean, the bus was driven over him. It was put in reverse. It went back over him and over him again. Clearly, there is disdain on the part of these Republican-called witnesses about who Giuliani is and what he is doing as it relates to the United States security interests. The other thing is that this witness for the Republicans gave a rousing character defense of Joe Biden.
Yeah.
There is a real disconnect when the Republicans say, call this witness, and almost the first thing the witness did was say any discussion that Joe Biden would be involved in coloring his official duties by something involving Burisma or this is just ludicrous on its face. And that couldn't have been a good moment for the president to have this witness say, hey, this is really a cooked up cockamamie deal by Giuliani, which is essentially what the witness said.
Sticking with cooked up cockamamie topics, is it cooked up and cockamamie for Kurt Volker to have all of us believe, with just water and nothing more exciting in our cups, that he was pursuing a statement? I mean, I have this October 3rd article in the New York Times that details Trump envoy pushed Ukraine to commit to investigating Biden. Two of Trump's top envoys in Ukraine worked on a statement for the country's new president in August. It was a lengthy statement committing Zelensky to investigating the Bidens. Are we really to believe that he didn't remember until he started reading the transcripts from the impeachment proceedings that Burisma was Hunter Biden's company?
Well, there's long been an undisputed fact in this, and it's undisputed because we have the text messages. Kurt Volker, we know, drafted this insert and actually sent it on to the Ukrainians to actually mention Burisma. What I think is untenable on his part is his continued contention that he didn't recognize the connection between the Bidens and Burisma. You know, he used this interesting phrase when he was talking about his efforts while as the special envoy. He said he was trying to thread a needle. He was trying to thread a needle between doing what President Trump wanted, which was clearly for corrupt purposes to advance his own political prospects, but still to do something that was in the Ukrainian national interest and the American national interest. He was trying to do both. I think he's still trying to thread that needle. You know, Tim Morrison, who took on the job on July 15th, 10 days before the July 25th phone call, he said today in the hearing, at first, I didn't know any of these terms, but you know what I did? I Googled Burisma, and I recognized the connection between Burisma and the Bidens. It strains credulity to think that Kurt Volker didn't do something as Google this term.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.